Hello and welcome to another match recap featuring Pojilaya, Skumbriya, and Buff Enjoyers. This best of 3 match was played on October 23rd, 2024 as part of the EU Fight Night series. Check out the full VOD and all of their excellent Deadlock content at twitch.tv/deadlockfightnight. The game starts quietly, neither team initiating rotations or taking hard trades. The first mistake of the game is made by Sharik on the Warden, who opts for a little box maxing despite being half health. A positional error quickly pounced upon by Hardeki 7 for first blood. Zergi's Infernus and Together's Yamato are evenly matched out on Park Avenue, but their teammates intervene and create a misbalance. Tass, piloting the Paradox, rotates from Broadway and tries to secure the kill for his team, but is denied by mere inches as the pulse grenade is caught on a wall. Listic's Kelvin skates down the ice path with Mikhail S in tow on the Shiv, scattering their foes and critically forcing Together to miss nearly a full wave of troopers. A minute later, Together sees the low health bar on Zergi and commits, but the extra boon power plus the early sustain from Infuser gives Zergi the edge and puts the lane in an unsalvageable state. Sharik believes Sunset to be off farming the jungle with his Wraith and positions aggressively against Hardeki. Sunset charges through the veil, locks Sharik up with telekinesis, and picks up the easy kill.
No one is stopping me from finishing the ritual.
Mikhail S sees a missed paradoxical swap and engages on Tass, but is locked up and held by Litz on the Dynamo, who burns his singularity. Listic commits the frozen shelter to trap Tass, but some fancy footwork and a time wall keep the Paradox safe. Together is already on scene, desperate for something to do that doesn't involve Infernus making finger guns, and Sunset rotates in, scattering the Buff Enjoyers and setting the tone for the rest of the game. Pojilaya Skumbriya are on time, just in time, with enough force to come out ahead in the engagement. Buff Enjoyers show their teeth, with Piggy's Ivy dropping Sharik onto an easy kill on Hardeki, and Demoff's Pocket taking a 1v1 kill over Zania's Lash. Pojilaya Skumbriya look to accelerate the action, sending Sunset in to flank Mikhail S on Greenwich, securing the kill and their first Guardian of the game. Piggy and Sharik narrowly beat them to first brick, slaying the Guardian in Broadway, while Demoff and Listic claimed Amber Guardian on York Avenue. With the soul count even, Buff Enjoyers seek to gain a macro advantage by targeting Park Avenue's Guardian and unlocking their first flex slot. Pojilaya Skumbriya arrive ready to fight, and Zania attacks from the flank with his Death Slam. Listic denies the Lash with Frozen Shelter, but is then caught by a paradoxical swap, giving over a kill and control of Park Avenue to the Amber team. Buff Enjoyers are content to concede the first Soul Urn and load the left side of the map, hoping to find a weak point in their opponent's defense. Pojilaya Skumbriya do spread their forces, but strike first on the right side of the map, taking down Zergi on their way to securing the Urn Turner. Buff Enjoyers encounter strong resistance at the York Avenue Walker and fail to punch through quickly on what they plan to be their strong side of the map. Piggy is forced away by Hardeki, who rotates over, looking for any cleanup kills available. Ultimates are traded as the teams clash, but in the end, the teams trade walkers, with the Amber squad securing 2 more kills, representing a huge win overall for Pojilaya Skumbriya. This is the moment of the game where the snowball starts to roll down the mountain. Pojilaya Skumbriya feel confident in their team fight and bring the mid-boss to half health in an effort to draw the Buff Enjoyers into a fight. Litz finds a nice singularity to set up 2 quick kills for his team, with Together pumping out massive spirit damage. Hardeki and Sunset both attack from the flank, rolling Buff Enjoyers up in a beautifully controlled teamfight that only leaves 2 survivors to be chased down for the cleanup. But to my mind, the real story of this clash is the one we haven't seen yet. Sunset drives Listic out of the fight completely and forces the usage of the Frozen Shelter. Listic is trying to play Gun Kelvin and be a major damage threat, but he's the poorest character in the lobby, and his failure to play around his team's strength deprives Buff Enjoyers of a cooldown that could have been used to turn the fight around. Pojilaya Skumbriya take down the mid-boss, claiming the Rejuvenator, a 6-2 fight win, and a 15,000 soul advantage. The snowball has grown enormous and continues to pick up speed. Pojilaya Skumbriya are able to turn strength into more strength, continuing to win skirmishes, claim picks, and eventually press down the remaining walkers just as the Rejuvenator expires, opening an insurmountable advantage of 40,000 souls and 2 flex slots. The snowball is now a full-blown avalanche. Buff enjoyers mount their final defense in the 26th minute as the patron descends, but Pojilaya Skumbriya, led by Sunset, won't be denied. They bring the weight of their 70,000 soul advantage crashing down on the hapless buff enjoyers. Sunset dives back and forth across the base, hunting down any and all targets that present themselves. Pojilaya Skumbriya lose 2 in this final clash, but when the dust settles and the fighting's done, they succeed in destroying the Sapphire Patron to claim game number 1. Pojilaya Skumbriya strike first in the series, taking a game that was balanced on a knife's edge at its midpoint and shoving it violently into their win column. A quick editorial note as we move on to game 2. The character animations in the replays of both of these games are quite broken. Very, incredibly broken. You may also notice some walls that appear to be in the wrong place, invisible floors, and obstacles in the map that seem to have no corporeal form. I imagine this is due to the client version mismatch between when these games were played and when this video was produced, and hopefully isn't something we'll see again in this series. I apologize for any confusion. Those responsible have been sacked. Listic on the Abrams, and together reprising his role as Yamato, trade heavily on York Avenue. Listic is poised to make the outplay after a brutal shoulder charge, but gambles on the parry and falls to the power slash for first blood. Meanwhile in Broadway, Tass puts the protoplasm of his Viscus to good use, unleashing a wicked puddle punch to usher Zergy 7 to his doom. Listic makes a nice rotation to Broadway, sneaking up behind Litz, locking up the Kelvin, and putting buff enjoyers on the scoreboard. Listic joins his team on Greenwich and tries to initiate a fight, but is quickly shut down and isolated from his teammates by the frozen shelter from Litz. Together chases him down, claims another kill, pops the shadow transformation, and drives forward with his allies, who successfully claim a second. Meanwhile, out on Park Avenue, Tass dives through the Guardian to finish off the work Zania's Mirage started, reducing Sharik and his Lash to nothing but a splatter before claiming the Guardian. Pojilaya Skumbriya claimed their third Guardian and first flex slot, with Zania traveling in to support Sunset's Infernus on York Avenue. Now, this isn't flame, shade, or criticism of any sort, but it is one of the main problems for buff enjoyers through the first 10 minutes of this game. Listic can't stop dying. He's not the only one, as Pojilaya Skumbriya will enjoy a 17-7 kill lead as the first earn fight looms, along with an advantage of 10,000 souls and 2 flex slots. Zania is caught out by the buff enjoyers and finally locked down and killed by Listic while trying to travel away. Buff enjoyers seize upon the 6v5 to go for the earn turn-in. They split their focus, with Piggy's Ivy going for the turn-in while Sharik finds an insane 4-target death slam. But Lash's arrogance is exposed as hubris when the ground strike follow-up is interrupted by Tass in the goo ball. Tass cosplays the snowball from the last game, splitting buff enjoyers in half and running down multiple kills, while Hardeki on Shiv charges forward to claim 2 more. Securing the urn is small solace for the buff enjoyers, as Pojilaya Skumbriya drive toward the mid-boss to press the advantage. Dimov's Warden tries to make a last stand, diving in to attempt to steal on the Rejuvenator, but a frozen shelter from Litz isolates him from his team, freezes the Rejuvenator, and completely negates his damage. Hardeki brings down Piggy before the dome falls, and Listic's last desperate attempt at a steal is parried. Pojilaya Skumbriya again roll the snowball and succeed in destroying the remaining walkers and driving the soul lead up to nearly 30,000 before the Rejuvenator expires, only 17 minutes into the game. Sharik tries to find another huge death slam at the walls of the Sapphire base, but can't secure a single target before getting knocked down and taken out. Dimov's last stand proves futile, and Pojilaya Skumbriya quite literally roll over their foes in this penultimate fight. They empty the base of shrines and successfully weaken the patron, while buff enjoyers desperately will their respawn timers to tick down faster. Buff enjoyers respawn in time to put their backs against the wall and fight. This team have been the invincible titans of EU Deadlock thus far, and it seems they survived this push through plot armor alone. Pojilaya Skumbriya failed to effectively focus their fire, and are finally pushed away by the ferocious Sapphire defense. They'll regroup, spend their souls, and prepare for another strike at the heart of their foes. Pojilaya Skumbriya load up for the final fight, 30,000 souls and 3 flex slots to the advantage. Xenia dashes forward with the tornado, trying to pick off Zergi. He finds the rest of the buff enjoyers waiting to attack, but this bunches the buff enjoyers up, and Sunset demonstrates the value of social distancing with a massive 4-target stun. Despite starting this fight effectively 4v6, Pojilaya Skumbriya have more than enough damage and CC to plow through the buff enjoyers, trading 5 for 1 and eliminating all opposition on their way to destroy the Sapphire Patron and claim the 2-0 victory in this series.
You will reap the rewards.
Thank you for watching this match recap, and be sure to check out DeadlockFightNight.com for more information about the organization, and twitch.tv/DeadlockFightNight for the full VOD and more of their excellent Deadlock content.